Fabulous. I'm doing pretty good. Pretty excited to do this, honestly. I've been looking forward to this for like a little while, so I'm pretty pumped. Hello, I'm Drew Burtz. I'm 25 years old, and today is February 27th, 2022. 26th? No, it's totally the 27th. I have way more time to watch Daredevil than I thought I did. This is awesome. Okay, it's February 26th, 2022.
I have 521 followers as of about 3 hours ago.
I was so young. Oh my. I have no idea how many I have. It's definitely gone up since. I'm gonna guess like probably somewhere in the range of like 450, something like that.
562.
Thank you. 562 followers. Yeah, that's a lot.
My most liked photo is a picture that I put together. It's a clip from Game of Thrones, a clip from Avengers Endgame, and a clip from Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. And it has something like 260 or 260 likes or something like that.
Yeah, still the same one. However, the one that has definitely jumped since then that's my favorite is the photo I posted of me and my finisher medal for the 2021 marathon. I was very proud of that. That got something like 160, 140, something like that. But yeah, big number. Interesting to say the least, in that I didn't get a chance to participate as much as I could, simply due to location. I was living with my folks up in Western New York for most of the year, but it was honestly really inspiring just to see everyone, all the art that everyone else is putting out. It made me like low-key kind of jealous because I was like, man, I really want to do that. I just don't have anything to like do or like anything to do with. Like I didn't have any equipment, I didn't have people, I had like nothing. It was good. It was inspiring to see other people's stuff. So last year I'm pretty sure I said that it's a place of like just like collective artists can come together and just work together. That hasn't changed at all because it still is the same. If anything, it's like gotten more than that. It's like a place where just people can come and share their art. If they have a project and there are other like-minded people who want to do it too, then perfect. That you got a pool of people to pick from.
Black Wolves is the place where like we as creatives can make the art that we want to. And not only that, but we also have the access to a group of very talented artists that can help us and support us in order to make the art that we want to make.
Yeah, not the same thing.
One of my first and favorite memories is when I was asked to participate in shooting the promotion video for the initial Indiegogo, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that checks out. I also totally forgot that picture existed. It's a normal Saturday night for me, but wow. What was the question?
Your favorite memory?
Oh, right, my favorite memory with Black Wolves. I mean, probably still the same thing, to be honest. That picture just makes me laugh, and it's also like, yeah, again, first memory, and it makes me laugh. Yeah.
My favorite moment of my career so far is what I'm doing currently, which is I'm working with my voice acting coach to create my reel. And that's a lot of fun to get set up because it feels really exciting because it's like we're almost to the audio reel itself. It feels like the first leap. Like I've taken the first step, but now it feels like the first leap into getting my career on track, which I'm very excited for.
Wow, a lot has happened in 1 year. That was before I even had my reel. Wow. The reason I'm like freaking out is because I've had my reel for what feels like forever, and now I have a talent manager who I've been working with since March, April, something like that. A lot more auditions are being sent to me. Unfortunately, nothing has gained traction yet, which is a shame, but I've definitely, with the help of my manager, with the help of my coach too, I've been able to like kind of make it more comfortable for me. One of the biggest things for me was that I couldn't find I couldn't find a way to make it my own, but like through a bunch of like guidance and help and direction, I was able to make it more exciting for me. Because of that, I've been getting a lot of like callbacks in round twos. Never going through all the way, but doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So definite improvement, yeah. The most important thing? Broad category. Living comfortably. Like living comfortably. I already live with people I adore. My roommates are some of the best roommates, let alone the best people that I've ever known. So I'm eternally grateful that I live with amazing people. But like being able to live comfortably with, you know, a day job, money, stuff like that, while I'm still able to like focus as much time as I can on my career, on advancing it. So I guess the most important thing, honestly, is mental health, balancing work and the stress, because I just moved back here like a month and a half ago. So I'm like, there's a lot that I feel like I should be doing, but I haven't done yet, but also I've been doing a lot. So just finding the right balance. It's important. It's hard, but it's important, and it's worth it when you get it. So that.
Making a living while also taking care of my own mental health, at the same time, which is difficult, but possible. And it's what I'm working on right now as well.
Am I telepathic, or have I just not changed in a year?
I've actually gone back and forth between a lot of different movies recently. I think the one that has always stuck with me, though, has been The Princess Bride. It's my favorite book, first of all, but there's like The Princess Bride, and then there's The Rocketeer, which is a very little-known Disney movie. But for now, I will say Princess Bride.
Solid choices, year ago me, I must say. Still very much full swing. Like, I just picked The Princess Bride back up to read it. God, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, Princess Bride, freaking fantastic movie. Rocketeer, also old movie. I haven't really been obsessed with many movies recently, a lot of TV shows. But as for movies, I mean, I've been really into Westerns recently. I don't really know why. It just happened out of nowhere. And that kind of started with Django Unchained. And I'll admit, I'm not the biggest Tarantino fan, but that's just me. No hate mail, please. But Django Unchained was really, really good. And I've watched it a couple times in the past few months. So, but favorite, still Princess Bride. That won't change. Easy. The Stay music video. I love watching it so many times. I'm just like, oh, this is so good. And I had never watched the original music video before. And then I was like, I wonder what the other one looks like. And so I watched it and I was like, it's all right. It's no Logan Riley Bruner, but it's all right. So yeah, that's definitely number one. Easy. I mean, it's always been green. I don't think that's going to change. Come to find out that I look pretty good in blue. Purple's also solid color, so, but green throughout.
A nice emerald green color. I don't know what it is about it. It's just very nice.
Oh, that's it. Okay, great. I said only that.
Rapid fire.
Yeah, three colors this time. I mean, you're lying to yourself if you say you don't, like in general. But like at least on some degree. There are definitely people who feel less pressure than others. There are people who feel way more pressure than others. No matter what, in my experience and people that I've talked to, in some form or another, yeah, I think everyone feels pressure. Definite pressure to continue on with my career. The pressure most recently has been to find a day job, but that's been handled. So just have to cut through all the red tape and get paperwork. So that's a huge weight off my shoulders. But now it's like, if it's not one thing, it's another. Now it's like, okay, now I have to get money before the next rent. And now I have to do this, now I have to do that. So yeah, I feel pressure, but nothing I can't handle.
At times, yes. Pressure from some other folks, but also a lot of pressure from myself as well. And it's just stuff that I have been working on, that I am working on, taking a little easier on myself, but also not losing the drive that I need.
Yeah, 100%.
When like people say that they want something, and I'm guilty of this in the past, and I still do it on occasion, but if people say that they want something but they don't put the work in that they need to put in order to get the thing they want, that just kind of like irritates me, probably because I have done it myself, and I just look back and I'm just thinking, no.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I wouldn't call that a pet peeve anymore. I mean, it was because it was like way more like present in my life at the time. As for like pet peeve, I honestly like really put my mind to like like over functioning, and I'm like, I can't think of like a pet peeve I have. I'm sure they exist, and I'm sure someone could tell me, hey, this is your pet peeve. I can't think of one though. So not that I know of, but if there is, I'll find out enough, but like soon enough.
Motivation is overrated, and some might say worthless. The real thing that you need is determination. Determination is priceless. Motivation is fleeting. It goes up and down, and some days you have it and some days you don't. But if you have the determination to do what you need to do every day, whether or not you're motivated to do it, that is what will get you what you want in the end, is if you have the drive to do it.
That's definitely a big thing, and that's something I've actually been thinking about a lot more recently, to stay more determined than motivated. What advice would I give myself a year ago? It's simple, it's profound, but I would just say relax. Like just shh. Like it's gonna work out. Like one thing that I've definitely learned has been that what's going to happen is going to happen. It doesn't matter if you worry about it or not. Of course, you can do things to change that, but it's like, and this is something that some like mindfulness exercises that I've been practicing on myself has been like, okay, in this particular instance, imagine the worst scenario. Just once. Just imagine it. Think that it happens. What then? Does the world explode? Are you kicked out of your house? Do you have no job anymore? Probably not. So in most cases, in my own personal experience, it's not as bad as your brain tells you it's going to be. So yeah, just relax.
I was one of the supporters in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker film. I suppose I haven't actually worked with Joaquin Phoenix, but I was on the same set as him, and I cheered for him, and I was within like 10 feet of him.
Yeah, I would definitely say he's probably the most well known. Since then, though, I mean, my manager, Jonathan Rayner, he's like, he knows a lot of people in Hollywood, so he's kind of more on the DL, like not in the spotlight. Like if you go up to someone and say his name, they're probably not gonna know. But like if you go to other people that are in that particular portion of the business, yeah, they'll know who he is. Yeah, so Jonathan Rayner, my coach Joan Baker as well. A lot of people know who she is in the VO world, like a shocking amount. Not shocking. She's amazing, but like I'm surprised at how I'm like, oh yeah, I work with Joan Baker, and they're like, the Joan Baker, and I'm like, oh okay, yes, the Joan Baker.
Definitely Mark Hamill. He's been my favorite like person since I was a kid. He just seems to be like someone who would be so much fun to work with, and that is what I would love to do as well.
Still a dream, and I'm gonna keep chasing it till I meet him behind the microphone. I'm like, hi. I'm a huge fan. You probably don't remember me from this one Comic-Con you went to where I had you sign a boxing glove, but I'm a big fan. Yeah, super nice guy from like the 30 seconds I had to talk with him. And he just seems fun. Like, yeah, definitely still Mark Hamill. I love him so much. I still jam out to Hozier's music. That's probably never going to go away. I do the same with Ninja Sex Party. Ed Sheeran's been a massive one. He's always been there, but like his new album, I absolutely fell in love with. There's a song called Shivers on it, and I just played it on repeat for like 3 days straight. It was so good. My favorite artist, though, I mean, Hozier, I guess. Hozier's solid.
It's a toss-up. Hozier is definitely on one end of my favorite musical artist. Ninja Sex Party, another one of my favorite musical artists. I listen to them almost every day. So yeah, them, definitely.
Never let it be said I'm not consistent. Probably kind of in the same vein as relax. Like, what the worst thing is going to be probably won't happen. And even if it does, it's not as bad as you think it's going to be. I think outside of that, one of the biggest things that I've learned has been that, you know, people are always like, oh, I went on a journey of self-discovery. I found out who I am. I did this and that. And I have no doubt been on that journey this past year. But it's not so much discovering who I am, it's rebuilding who I am. And that's the thing, you can rebuild and remake yourself over and over again as much as you want until you finally find who you are. And that has been something I've really held on to a lot. And help can come from anywhere. From, like, I can proudly and happily say I found my tribe, I found my people. So you can rebuild yourself over and over again until you find the person you want to be. Stay the course. Like you're gonna get, you're gonna hit waves, you're gonna get boffered, you're gonna get thrown around, you're gonna get to a point where you don't want to do this anymore, but you do. If you truly decide you don't want to, then yeah, maybe you should take time to find your own thing. But if you know that you are, and you know that this is a fleeting feeling, even if you don't know at the time, just keep at it. Like, don't give up because it's too hard. Because it's going to be hard, no matter what.
You need to work hard with perseverance, even when you don't want to. Like, you need to put as much work in as you can. Do extra work if possible. They say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. And if you work on it like for an hour a week, it's going to be years before you become an expert at what you want. But if you work like a few hours every day of every week of every month, then you will get to the experience and you will become an expert in what you want quicker, while still putting the work in that you need to put the work into. Yes.
Wow, I was very well spoken a year ago. But I mean, yeah, essentially the same thing. I just have more of a connection to it now than I did then. I want to normalize talking about art that you like instead of constantly berating the art that you don't like. There have been way too many times that I've got on freaking Google and it comes up with like news articles that's like, this is what we hated about this. It's like, why? Why do you have to talk about how much you hate it? Like, find something you like and talk about that instead. Like, the biggest example I can think of, and I want to keep this as anonymous as possible, I guess. There's been there was a show that came out recently that I absolutely loved that a fair portion, like most people really liked, but the loudest people didn't like it. And so I texted one of my friends after like an episode came out because something awesome happened, and I was like, hey, did you see the new episode of this? And they were like, I did. Here's 3 block texts of what I hated about it. And then I was just like, okay, I just wanted to tell you that this awesome thing happened, but okay. And he was like, oh yeah, that happened, cool too. And I'm like, dude, just talk about what you like. Like, why does it constantly, I'm not saying don't ever talk about what you don't like, just like I feel like there's this much content that people talk about how much they hate, this much content people how much talk about they like. Just switch those two around. Just for a little while at least. It might make you feel good. So yeah, I mean, everyone knows that I love talking about movies and stuff I like. So yeah,
Definitely equal representation in everything, in arts and even behind the scenes with pay as well. Like to actors, to writers, to the craft services, to everyone. I just want like an equal playing field amongst everyone in the arts world, and also more representation of different genders, different races within the artistic creation as well.
yeah, I mean, that still rings true. Easy enough. I mean, we've made strides since, shockingly, even if sometimes you can't see it, we've made strides, but always room for improvement.
Other than music, Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. YouTube's a close second, but Instagram.
I mean, yeah, it's a problem now. Like, I find myself when I'm bored just kind of like scrolling through my phone and I'm like, I need to stop. I need to find something else. I need to draw. I need to read. I need to do something else. Feeling comfortable here. Um, just because it's a new place and it's a totally new environment than when I lived in New York City last time, which is great. Like, change is inevitable and it's great, and it's not always necessarily for the worst, but being in like a comfortable spot, like, I guess that, like, I'm confident in who I am, most things, but just finding comfort.
The biggest thing I'm struggling with personally is patience, because it's something like I have a goal in mind and I want to get there, but in my mind it's like, okay, as more time goes on, eventually it'll get there, but I don't want that time to go on. I want it to be, I want it to be like now, which is, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but another reason why you need to put in the hours that you need to put in is so you can get there. But definitely patience and taking the pressure off of myself.
Man, I was passionate about that work last year. Wow. I know exactly what I'm talking about in this, though. It's because we were so close to doing my demo reel. I was so impatient for it. I was like, I need it and I need it now. And mind you, last time I listened to it was like 3 months ago, and I was like, oh God, I'm already better than I was. Like, I think I might need a new one. And I'm like, that's a lot of money. But no, yeah. Patience has, I haven't mastered patience in any sense of the word, but I'm much more patient now than I was then.
First thing I would do is I would pay off my debts. I would build a quality recording studio, put in all the money that I need to get a good recording studio. I'd send my parents on a cruise, and then the rest I would put in a savings account, however much is left after that.
I yeah, I'm laughing because of the cruise thing. I would still do that, 100%. I'd send my parents on a cruise. But the thing is, like, my my dad has gotten so big in the bare knuckle boxing world that now they're going on, like, I don't call it vacations, but they are like going on an all expense paid trip to these like locations where there's a bare knuckle boxing event. And my parents just got back from London like a month ago, and I'm like, freaking, I've been to London in so freaking long. But no, I mean, kind of the same thing. Like, I pay off my debts. I mean, that's easy. I like to be as frugal as I can with money. The problem is that when it gets to a point of like, oh, it's just this little thing, this little thing, this little thing, and I still am okay in the long run, but it's also like, I could have lived without that. Yeah, savings accounts and cruise, baby. That's the one. Your hair looks great, first of all. Second of all, you've done really well this past year. You, congrats on your voice acting gig. You nailed it. You should have known that you had it from the beginning. And if you didn't get it, oh well. But a year from now, me, You've grown a lot in 1 year, and you're going to grow even more. So put yourself out there. And yeah, be right now, baby. That's it. That's it. Thank you for being here, for listening to me talk about my life and about my career. My Instagram is @DrooBert, DrooBert, because I'm artsy or whatever. In the next coming months, we don't quite have a date yet, but myself and a couple of other fine actors and fine writers are going to be putting out a podcast called Murphy. Look for it on wherever you can get your podcast. But yeah, this has been a Black Wolves production.